We have the Philadelphia Eagles taking on the Washington Commanders. This is your Week 11 2024 prediction and preview video. Hit subscribe if you're new. Also hit the like button. Let's start off with the home team, the Philadelphia Eagles. This team is red hot. Last week was basically a bye week for the Philadelphia Eagles. They went out there and they blew the Dallas Cowboys out 34-6. Obviously, no Dak Prescott, but you can't help your circumstances and you can't help who you play. The Philadelphia Eagles have been one of the best teams in the NFC all season long, and the same with the Washington Commanders as well. I can see both of these teams making the NFL playoffs, but this is a huge game because this is a division game, and the Philadelphia Eagles went out last week and they already beat a division opponent in the Dallas Cowboys. And last week, Jalen Hurts was 14-20, 202 passing yards, 2 passing touchdowns. On the ground, 56 rushing yards, 2 rushing touchdowns. He did get sacked 5 times. He did throw an interception, and he had a fumble as well. Take care of the football in this game. Jalen Hurts has done a very good job this season of taking care of the football. We know last season he was a bit of a turnover machine, but it wasn't all on him. You had terrible play calling by Coach Johnson, the former offensive coordinator. You look at Kellen Moore. He's using more motion, and Jalen Hurts was not lying. This is a brand new playbook for him and this offense, and we can see it on a weekly basis. Saquon Barkley continues to be one of the best running backs in the NFL. Last week, he was pretty quiet. He went out there, he only had 66 rushing yards. And this game against the Washington Commanders, you have to get the run game going. Now, the Washington Commanders did a very good job of stopping Najee Harris last week. They made sure that he only averaged 2.5 yards a carry. Well, Saquon Barkley is no Najee Harris, and no disrespect to Najee Harris. Saquon Barkley has that bend and the ability to go out there and take a 5 to 6 yard gain, break a couple of tackles, and take it for a 60-yard gain. Get him going early in this game and get him involved in the receiving game as well. Use him as a safety blanket. You also look at what happened last week to the Washington Commanders. They gave up a lot of big plays to George Pickens and a huge play to Mike Williams as well, which was essentially the game-winning touchdown for the Steelers. They cannot stop the deep pass on the sideline. And the Philadelphia Eagles have been one of the best teams in the NFL to utilize that. They throw a streak to A.J. Brown. They throw a go ball to Devontae Smith. A.J. Brown last week had a crazy catch on Kalen Carson. And you look at what A.J. Brown was able to do last week, 109 receiving yards. And that one play I'm talking about went for 44 yards. You have Jahan Dotson as well, who is a former player for the Washington Commanders. They traded him to the Philadelphia Eagles. You know that he's going to want to go out there and show it to this team as well. You have Devontae Smith a couple of weeks ago had a catch of the year contender against the Cincinnati Bengals. Take the deep shots down the field. Take advantage of the secondary with the Washington Commanders. And I will say this, the Commanders have a top passing defense in the NFL. Marshawn Lattimore is questionable for this game, but he's dealing with a hamstring injury. If he's not able to go, throw those deep bombs down the field. But you have to start off by running the football with Saquon Barkley and make sure that Jalen Hurts can use his leg as well. The offensive line is going to be key in this matchup, and the blitz protection as well. Last season, Jalen Hurts struggled immensely against the blitz. This season, not as much because Kellen Moore is using motion. He's also helping Jalen Hurts see the field at the next level. This is an Eagles team. They don't run too many comeback routes. They don't run too many slants either. This is an open offense, and they like to go deep. This could be a key matchup for them going against that secondary with the Washington Commanders. But I expect for A.J. Brown to have a breakout game in this game. And if it's not for A.J. Brown, for it to be Saquon Barkley or Devontae Smith. And pay attention to Dallas Goedert as well. He's been quiet in a couple of games here and there, but we've seen him in the past. He's went out there and had some big games because they have left him in single coverage. But don't get him mistaken. The Washington Commanders defense, they're very tough with Bobby Wagner, Frankie Louvu, Dorian Armstrong as well. Do not get too cocky out there. And I'm talking about Nick Sirianni here. A few weeks ago, you went against Jacksonville Jaguars. You had a big lead. You almost blew that lead due to bad play calling and due to bad, terrible decision making as well by the head coach. Just rock with the flow of the game and take care of business. You're the home team. When I look at the defense for the Philadelphia Eagles, a complete 180 from last season. We know what they were able to do last week. You went against Cooper Rush. You also went against Trey Lance. Bottom of the barrel quarterbacks, no disrespect. Jaden Daniels is a top quarterback in the NFL. Last week, he did not have his best week, but this kid can get the football out quick, and he's one of those rookie sensations. Do not play him lightly. Put a lot of pressure on this kid and take away Terry McLaurin. And the Philadelphia Eagles, they're equipped for this matchup. They have Quinyon Mitchell, who is playing very well this season. He's one of the better cornerbacks in the NFL, and he's just a rookie. And the same with Cooper DeJean as well. Darius Slay is questionable for this game, but he's on pace to play in this game. When I look at the defense of the Philadelphia Eagles, it starts up front. You have to generate a lot of pressure through the middle. Jalen Carter has been a very good defensive lineman this season. You have Brandon Graham as well, and you also look at those linebackers with Zach Bond and Nakobe Dean. The key here is to get interior pressure on Jayden Daniels. He was very uncomfortable last week. Part of that is because Andrew Wiley missed that lineup, but TJ Watt wasn't the guy that got to him. It was Cameron Hayward. Those bigger defensive tackles have given the Washington Commanders a lot of problems, but this is the key here. It's tricky. Jayden Daniels has elite speed to where he can avoid those pressures. So it's going to come down to the edge protection as well. Set the edge. That's where Josh Sweat and Brandon Graham come into play. Be those veteran pass rushers. Sometimes you just have to create pressure on the quarterback and make sure that he's uncomfortable, but you have to take away Terry McLaurin and watch out for Austin Ekeler as well. The Washington Commanders are a top offense for a reason. They went out there last week and they still were able to walk away with 27 points and force some turnovers on the Washington Commanders as well. This is going to be a very fun matchup to see how Coach Vic is going to go against a rookie quarterback and Jayden Daniels, because history shows his defense has went out there and has feasted on young quarterbacks before, especially rookie quarterbacks, but this is not your ordinary rookie. I like the Philadelphia Eagles a lot in this matchup. Now let's talk about the Washington Commanders. Now, I just went out there and I basically hyped up the Philadelphia Eagles to win this game, which is a real possibility. But when you look at the Washington Commanders, this is one of the best teams in the NFL. Even though last week they walked away with the L, it came down to Johnny Newton jumping off sides, and who has been a tremendous player this season, by the way. They lost the game last week 28-27, but it wasn't on Jayden Daniels. Jayden Daniels went out there. He was 17-34, 202 passing yards. He got sacked 3 times, 0 passing touchdowns, 0 interceptions. That's rare for Jayden Daniels. And this is a short week. You do worry about that with a rookie. But like I mentioned before, it's not your ordinary rookie. You have to find a way to get the football out quicker. Last week, it was too many times they were trying to take deep shots down the field to Terry McLaurin, and it did work out, but no one else was able to take advantage of that. Did Jayden Daniels miss some throws? Yes, he did, but part of that's because Andrew Wiley was out, and that's a top offensive lineman with the Washington Commanders. He's questionable for this game. Hopefully, he can play. If he can't play, pay attention to that matchup on that right side of the offensive line, because they did a very good job of guarding TJ Watt, but he was still in the face of Jayden Daniels all day last week. But you look at Terry McLaurin, 5 catches, 113 receiving yards. That's phenomenal. One of the best receivers in the game. Noah Brown had 7 targets, 3 catches for 33 receiving yards. Zach Ertz, 4 catches for 31 receiving yards. And I'm telling you, the Commanders were almost there to beating the Steelers last week. It just came down to a couple of inches to Zach Ertz and the offsides penalty. Get the football out quick to Terry McLaurin, but the other wide receivers have to step up. Luke McCaffrey, Noah Brown, Zach Ertz at the tight end position. You have to find a way to go out there and get open. Now, I trust Cliff Kingsbury to go out there and do a better job than he did last week. And he did a very good job of calling plays. It just came down to a couple of big plays here and there. Jayden Daniels, go out there and continue to play your game. Do what you've done all season long and get him on the move. If the offensive line cannot go out there and they cannot have consistency with blocking up the middle, get him on the out in terms of running a lot of play action bootlegs, because the Philadelphia Eagles, they may have a tough time guarding a lot of motion with Terry McLaurin and also with the other wide receivers that they have in this team as well. And use Austin Ekeler more so in the pass game than you did last week. They struggled to run the football last week. That may be the case again because the Philadelphia Eagles have a top rushing defense in the NFL. Brian Robinson Jr. missed last week's game, and he missed the game against the Baltimore Ravens. I'm noticing a trend here. When he's not able to play, they're not able to run the football at the next level. But you still have Jeremy McNichols and Austin Ekeler as well. Go back and look at what the Patriots did. When the running game wasn't working out, they threw a lot of screens and dink and dump passes. Jayden Daniels has the accuracy. And when you look at those crossing routes last week, they were wide open, but the offensive line did not hold up for Jayden Daniels. Pay attention to that in this matchup, because I can see Luke McCaffrey on the crossing route getting a lot of yards. That's how he's been getting his yards so far, and the same with Terry McLaurin as well. And take advantage of those rookie cornerbacks with the Philadelphia Eagles. Even though they're playing well right now, they've given us some big plays here and there. You have a veteran receiver, you have a veteran tight end, run the offense through them and run the offense through the backfield as well. But it's going to come down to offensive line protection, and can Jayden Daniels continue to play at an extremely high level? And I also look at it at this situation as well. Now look at it through this lens. This team has only had 3 turnovers this season. That's it. They've done a great job taking care of the football. Continue to do it in this game as well. When I look at the defense with the Washington Commanders, hopefully Marshawn Lattimore can play. And if he can, you put him on A.J. Brown the entire game. Make sure that he can travel. But that's the one guy that you have to go out there and stop in terms of wide receivers. Devontae Smith is a route running machine. He's one of the best route runners in the NFL. The problem is this: the Washington Commanders have given up a lot of streak plays. Their secondary is top rated in the NFL. Their rushing defense is lower rated by the numbers. Their secondary, they have some solid players back there, but hopefully Marshawn Lattimore can play. If he cannot play in this game, he will definitely play next week. The only reason I'm concerned about him not playing is because it's a short week. He wasn't able to play on Sunday. He may not be able to play in this game either. And if he can't play, I trust for Dan Quinn to go out there and to make a lot of adjustments. Dan Quinn is the former defensive coordinator for the Dallas Cowboys, and they had a lot of good games and a lot of good moments against Jalen Hurts and the Philadelphia Eagles. You look at this defensive line, you have Daron Payne, who is one of the best defensive tackles in the NFL, Johnny Newton, who is a phenomenal rookie, Dorian Armstrong as well, and Frankie Louvu. Go back there and put the pressure on Jalen Hurts. That's what you have to do, and play physical coverage with the wide receivers as well, with safety help over the top. Jeremy Chinn is going to be key in this game, and he's easily their best safety that they have in this matchup. I look at a guy like Bobby Wagner, who was a very good linebacker this season, as a tackle machine, and Dante Fowler, who has 8.5 sacks and 1 forced fumble. He has been phenomenal all season long. You have to put the pressure on Jalen Hurts and stop the run game with Saquon Barkley. This is going to be a very fun matchup. Jaden Daniels has been very consistent all season long. He's an MVP candidate. When you look at Jalen Hurts, he's starting to play and get comfortable in the system as well. This is going to be a close football game, but I do have the Philadelphia Eagles taking this one home 31-28. But let me know in the comment section below, who do you have winning this game? Jaden Daniels and the Washington Commanders, or Jalen Hurts and the Philadelphia Eagles? If you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button. If you like the video, hit the like button. Most importantly, I want each and every last one of you guys stay safe, stay positive. Thanks for watching the video, guys. God bless. Peace.